Look around you.
Hawkins is the overseer, or as some call him, the king of the House of Yahweh, a homemade mix of Jewish and Christian beliefs, where he predicts only his followers will avoid the coming doomsday.
No one else has right to the tree of life except those who keep the laws of Yahweh.
And it is here, outside Abilene, Texas, on a huge tract of land with watchtowers and well-guarded gates, that Buffalo Bill Israel Hawkins has built a devoted following that some believe is a dangerous cult.
I don't think there's any way to describe it but to say it's a religious cult.
Hawkins denies he has any cult-like control over his followers.
I don't control their mind in a witch-like fashion that the world is speaking of, to where I have some sort of power over them. I merely teach the laws to them, and I beg them to follow those laws so they'll be a part of Yahweh's kingdom.
And to be part of Yahweh's kingdom means to be safe from doomsday. Nuclear war, he told 2020, is now scheduled to begin next Thursday, June 12th, or maybe even sooner.
Oh, yes. But it could be turned loose before then. I don't expect it to be turned loose before then.
When do you expect it to be turned loose?
By June 12th.
I'm Elizabeth Vargas for all of us at 2020. We're in touch.
What about it, Mr. Hawkins? Global warming caused by STDs, sexually transmitted diseases?
Yes, that's exactly true. The firmament is being destroyed by STDs at this time, and if the scientists are checking this right now.
What scientists?
They're on. I can't give you their names, but they're checking it right now. They've got samples of the air already from different heights, and they're going after this information right now that we have announced is actually a result of global warming. That's what the Scripture shows. The Scripture shows
June came and went, and everybody thought, oh, Israel Hawkins, here he goes again, making predictions, and it didn't come to pass. But the fact of the matter is, if they'd have just waited a little longer and believed without seeing, they would have found that actually there was, the baby was aborted, let's say, or put off at the time because
the prophet Micaiah, and he gave it to the king. Deceiving the enemies is not considered lying in Yahweh's sight. Now, for a little stronger meat. This may turn you off, I don't know. Let's turn over to Exodus. I want to show you a commandment. In Exodus 20 and verse 13, everyone read that commandment. Thou shalt not commit murder. Thou shalt not commit murder. Now remember, when Yahweh brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, he gave them these commandments, and he said over and over again that he punished them over and over for not keeping these commandments. Now, let's turn over to Exodus 20 and Leviticus 20, pardon me. Leviticus 20. Now remember that Yahweh gave the commandment, thou shalt not murder. Now turn over to Leviticus 20 and notice verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast, speaking to the same children of Israel that he gave these commandments to, and saying, if a woman shall approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. Now he had just told the children of Israel and gave them this commandment, thou shalt not kill. And then he tells them right here to kill any woman that lies with a beast sexually. Look on over to Numbers 31. Well, before you do that, look on down to verse 27. A man also, or a woman, that has a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. By who? By you. The same ones he said not kill, including all of you today. Now look on over to Numbers 31. Numbers 31. Now if you'll start with verse 1 and read this here, you will read how Yahweh avenged the children of Israel against the Canaanites. And he brought them into these lands, and he told them what these people did. And he brought war against these people. And verse 7 says, as Yahweh, and they warred against the Midianites, as Yahweh commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. Now, of course, this is exactly what Yahweh told them to do. They slew all the males. Look on over to verse 14. Now, there was a certain, just to tell you the story, there was a certain man here that came back, and he showed a bit of favor to a person that he loved, another king. Well, let's read it here. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, which the captains over thousands and captains and over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass. This is not what I had another story mixed up. We'll get to that later. This right here is where they went in, and Yahweh told them to kill everyone. And they killed the men, but they saved the women here. And Moses was very angry about this, and he says, these people caused you to trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor, and there was a plague among the congregation of Yahweh. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that has known man by lying with him. Same children of Israel that was told not to kill. Can you take this? Can you begin to see that Yahweh is the lawgiver? Can you begin to see that if he tells you to commit murder, that is exactly what you're going to have to do?
We've heard about them for a while. Two leaders of a local religious sect in and out of court on various charges. Now one woman wants it known what really happens on the inside.
It's only on KRBC. The House of Yahweh has been making headlines over the years, most recently when one of the leaders, Yedidiah Hawkins, was sentenced to 30 years for sexual assault of a child.
Well, now a former member of the House of Yahweh is speaking out and wanting to spread the truth. Tim Johnston shares her story.
I've never had anything I've regretted except going there.
Claudia Hutchinson spent nearly 10 years as a member of the House of Yahweh, and she says after being out, she's able to really understand what happened.
I really think from a deep sleep trance.
She admits the House of Yahweh was enticing to her in 1994 when she first got into it because several family members had joined.
There was excitement, there was joy. They treated you like you were a hero.
But after a while, she started to hear some messages that she disagreed with.
They had sex sermons where you had to be your children, and they used it before at the beginning of the end.
And that's when she wanted out. But to do so, she had to hire an armed guard to protect her.
They do assign people to follow you, which is intimidating, scary. So I hired an armed guard because I didn't know what they were going to do there.
Looking back, she talked about how the leader, Israel Hawkins, believed he was the Messiah. And she even compared Hawkins to cult leaders like David Koresh and Marshall Applegate of the Heaven's Gate cult.
I actually asked his daughter, do you think he really believes everything he says? And she said yes. You know, just like Applegate was sick and Koresh was sick, they believed in themselves.
More recently, the House of Yahweh has been known for the allegations of child molestation highlighted by members like Yedidiah Hawkins.
And they tell you not to go to the police about it. That's a fact, because they can handle it themselves. And look what happened with Yedidiah.
But looking back now, she says what hurts the most is knowing that she has kids and even grandchildren that she'll never be able to see again.
And I just hope that my sons wake up. And that's all I can do. I can just hope that they wake up and that I get to see them before I die.
After hearing all of Claudia's story, I went out to the House of Yahweh to see if I could talk to anyone about the things that happened inside. Now, is there a way to get an interview? But I was turned away. Tim Johnston, KRBC News.
We here at KRBC want to extend once again another invitation to the House of Yahweh. We would like to hear from your group about what these former members are saying. And to read words directly from the former member, you can find her statements on our website at Big Country homepage.
And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.